Hi there, my name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Today, I am going to be taking a look at Ace Frehley Origins Volume 1. First, Ace Frehley Sans Kiss album I've bought. I have the Ace Frehley Kiss album, but this is the first Ace Frehley album I bought. No one's ever really talked highly of his solo stuff enough to really go look into it. It's always been the Kiss stuff, so the reason I picked this album up is this is actually a covers album for the most part. There are a couple original songs on here, but they're Kiss tunes. I'll get to it. But I love the set list on here. Most of the set list on here is either songs I would have played live or I have played live. Fantastic. And Ace is really, after listening to this album, you can really hear Ace is an underrated guitarist and musician. I mean, he's not what I would call a great vocalist, but, there's other vocalists that appear on here, and I'll get to it as I go, where I do honestly prefer Ace's voice, I guess, in a lot of cases. So let me start off. The album opens up with the Cream classic White Room. Beautiful. Ace just nails it out of the park. And I absolutely love this song. I mean, it is one of, sure, everybody loves this as a Cream song, but it's actually one of my all-time favorite songs. Like, I have karaoke the hell out of this song. It's one of those songs I always, say that, in bands that I've been in, hey, guys, would you be interested in doing this one? And no one really kind of takes to it, but, it just, That is followed up with a song that I've got quite a few different bands that do a cover of this one, and I've never quite understood why until I heard the Ace Frehley version. I really dug in on the Ace Frehley version, and that is the Rolling Stones' Street Fighting Man. Great tune. Now, Ace's take on it, I really love it. Now, one of the best parts about everything on this album is it's got that modern sound to it, that quality, that crispness, but it's full, it's thick, it's refined, and people like to do that, digital warmth, tape warmth, analog, whatever. It doesn't matter how this album was recorded, it sounds perfect when it comes blasting out of a stereo system. End of story. That is what matters. It's good on headphones too. I listen to it on headphones when I'm out biking, stuff like that. But like you get it pumping out of a nice, beautiful set of speakers, and it rocks. But Street Fighting Man is one of those songs I've never quite understood everybody's fascination with it. I don't mind the Stones version even, but this is the first version I've really actually enjoyed and liked of the song, I would say. Next up, Spanish Castle Magic, Jimi Hendrix. Of course, some Hendrix has got to show up on here, right? How could a guitarist from the 70s not be inspired by Hendrix? It would have to be on here. And I really love what Ace does with this and the way that he plays it and the way he puts his flourishes on and stuff like that. Like, Jimmy is often overlooked for the poet that he was. Everybody goes, oh, well, yeah, his real poetry was stolen from Bob Dylan, because apparently all along the Watchtower is the only poetry that, Jimmy could do, right? But you listen to Spanish Castle Magic, and there's some real poetry in there. And his delivery and the nuances with the music even lend to that whole vibe and that aesthetic of the song. And Ace puts his own little nuances and stuff like that in there and makes it a little bit his, but he does it perfectly. So, it sounds very much like the original. Like every song on here sounds very much like the original. There is no mistake in it for the original, at least all the ones I know. One or two I actually didn't know prior to this. That being said, Fire and Water, one of the songs I did not know prior to this, oddly, I was told by a few people, but I really don't want to know it after this either. This particular one has Paul Stanley doing the guest vocals on it. Now, I'm assuming that Paul's on here doing the guest vocals. I remember reading it in the book. It's just, the booklet in here has got all the cool little info. And all the stories as to why Ace did what he did. Now, I'm going to say he got Paul because really Paul has the more dynamic voice. He has the range. He has the skill, the craft. He can sing beautifully. There's a reason why he played the Phantom of the Opera. If you did not know that, that is correct. Paul Stanley did a run as the Phantom of the Opera in Toronto at the Pantages Theatre. Or Pantages Theatre, depending on who you are and how you say it. Anyways, moving on. Fire and Water, though, I'm not digging the tune, and I don't know if it's because of Paul's voice, because realistically, when I think about it, all the Kiss songs I like, they're mainly either Gene or Ace. Not as many Paul songs as you would think, that I mean, I don't know. Not for writing, I'm just talking about for singing. So, moving on. Ace covers one of my all-time favorite Thin Lizzy songs, and that is Emerald. Oh my god, I love Emerald. Ever since I heard it the first time, and I didn't discover it until I was an adult. First time I heard it, I'm like, guys, I'm talking to my buddies at the time, we gotta cover this, never covered it. It's never been covered. Always wanted to do it, man. Just because it's got this, first off, I love the drums, man. Bones. Down through the Grand came the marching band with the shields and the swords to fight the fight they believed to be right, to overthrow the overlord. The town there was plenty. And it goes on. I just love this song, man. And it's a Thin Lizzy original. It's not like it's an Irish cover like they did with Whiskey in the Jar, but it so belongs there with Whiskey in the Jar. It's just so great. And with my Irish heritage, because I do have Irish heritage, it's just that little piece of home for me. Speaking of home, the next song is Bring It On Home. I don't know that song originally. I don't remember who does it either. It's in here, but I'm sorry. Bring It On Home. I do dig the tune on here. It's one of the weaker songs I find on this album. And by weaker, meaning one of the ones I actually skip. I don't put it on my playlist or anything like that. But it's not a bad tune. It's just, yeah. Next up, now, if you have ever played in a band, you had to have jammed around on this song. It's kind of like a rule that every band has to fuck around on this song somehow. Even if you're just loosening up, getting your shit going, whatnot. The Troggs, Wild Thing. Sorry, Wild Thing. It's not a thing. But Wild Thing. I mean, Wild Thing. Ba-da, ba-da, you make my heart. Everybody knows the song, okay? And I mean, I've played it live on stage, and it's such a fun song to play. You get in the right groove, you get the right frame set. It's just a fun song to have a lot of fun with, Now, this is done in the very classic way, and everything about it is wonderful. And it guest stars Lita Ford. Oh, yeah. Lita hits it on this one, man. Good tune. Now, one of the songs in here is a song that I've mentioned my buddy Drew. Always loves to fuck around on this one on guitar. And I've never quite nailed the drums just right to break it out live on stage yet. But this is a Kiss song. It's one of the few Kiss songs that he is willing to acknowledge or play or anything like that. And that is Parasite. So when it came on here, and it's Ace doing a new modern rendition adaptation of his own classic Kiss song, Parasite, Parasite, baby, Parasite, you know what I mean? Like, it just, yeah. Great tune, it really is. But it's the music. Great tune. And I love when that riff comes out. My buddy hammers out that riff. It's great. So to hear Ace pop it out on here, in the modern do it, love it. Next up, Steppenwolf, Magic Carpet Ride. Oh my god, this was fantastic. I was so thrilled to see that he did this. And the reason I was so thrilled is, everybody hears Steppenwolf. If you even know who Steppenwolf is as a musical act, Born to Be Wild. You all know Born to Be Wild. Everybody knows Born to Be Wild. That is their claim to fame, but it's not their only hit. They had a multitude of other hits. Magic Carpet Ride was one of them, and it is a great song. Little fact, Steppenwolf, Canadian band. They had to go to the U.S. to get, any type of traction, but they are actually a Canadian band. All right, so after Magic Carpet Ride, we go on to the legendary, my absolute all-time favorite Kiss song, Cold Gin. Oh, Ace redoing his classic. I have sung this song more times than any other song I have probably ever sang in karaoke, most likely, I guess. I'm guessing, because, this is just one of my all-time favorites, because it's easy for me to sing. It's in my range. It's easy to hit. Oh, and who doesn't like singing about Cold Gin, baby? Oh, my God. And my heater's broken. I'm so tired. I need some fuel to feel fire. Yeah. It's one of those songs. Cold Gin kind of is like Earache My Eye to me. It's just got that kind of, the way it's sung and the way the riffs are hit on it and stuff like that. It's just got that vibe, that flow. Except for, Cold Gin I take a little more seriously, obviously, than Earache My Eye. But it's just so much fun. So much fun. Such a great bar song. That is followed up with Till the End of the Day. Only song on this album I do not like. And flat out don't like it. I'm just not a fan. No saving grace to it. Just skip. And then the album finishes off with a selection I had never heard before. I absolutely love hearing it on here, and I totally dig what was done with this track on this album, and that is Rock and Roll Hell. Rock and Roll Hell, most people have probably never heard of. If you're anything like me, I have no clue what it is. And the reason why is it is a Gene Simmons song from Gene Simmons' solo Kiss album. There's the four albums, solo albums. I'll probably pop the graphics up here real quick. Anyways, Gene Simmons' solo album is the one that is the most legendary for sucking in the most ass, apparently. I've never listened to it. I really should pick them all up. I've only ever picked up the Ace Frehley one. I should pick up the other three. I never did, because everybody always said the other three were garbage and the Ace Frehley one was the only one ever worth picking up. Ace in the notes says how much he thought the song was highly underrated and should have gotten more respect than it did. Ace gives it some major respect on here, and I totally dig this song. And this song was a great way to end this album, because it finishes Rock and Roll Hell. And it feels like the perfect ending to the album. The whole way around, this album is fantastic, okay? Check out that artwork even, Like, check out the artwork on the front. Check out the artwork on the back. I was surprised to see the Twin Towers. I really was. It was nice to see the Twin Towers in there. I thought it was a great little piece of history to see them in there still. But it's a 2016 album, so, we're talking years later. And it was cool to see that. Great little booklet inside. I've only read it once, but it's a great little booklet. It gives you good details on everything in here, why Ace picked what he did, who's on what songs, stuff like that. Because I know there's some guest musicians I'm pretty sure I've missed in here. But this really is a great album. If you ever come across this album and you want a great album for parties and stuff like that, this is a great party album. For having great selections that have been modern adaptations, they're done by a musician who is accomplished, skilled, and knows what he's doing, and has done great, faithful renditions that clearly sound like it's still Ace. Would I be able to pick out Ace Frehley playing guitar on any album? Hell no. You know, I don't recognize his signature sound style like I might recognize Slash from Guns N' Roses, or I might recognize Joe Perry, or I might recognize Dick Wagner, who most people, when I say that, are going to be like, who's that? Who goes by Dick? No, anyways. Ace Frehley, man. Origins, Volume 1. You should have picked this up. If you like Kiss, if you like Ace, and if you don't have this album yet, you're only hurting yourself. Pick it up. Great album. Anyways, peace, love. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the whatever buttons. And until next time, take care. Oh, leave a comment too.